number 6.
The best ride in town. For wherever you want to go.
Carmel is a number to know. Ride Carmel and be on time. Worldwide and nationwide. 666 6666. The number 6.
I'ma get no be so. Girl, you won't capture my soul. I'ma get no be so. Make we one umbo. Better, bye. Better, bye. I'm loose. Even better done the para. Tonight in Josie.
It is Toriano Network. Chris Toriano, WSIB Radio, streaming on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. The Toriano Network. 12,000 subscribers and counting. Subscribe now. So it's that time again where we are in the thick of things in the New York metro area, the PSAL baseball playoffs start tomorrow. We have the 1A, the 2A, and the 3A championships. 1A, I'm do not know that much about the 1A. I will say, looking up Claremont, they're the number 1 seed. They should have no issue in this playoff bracket taking home the gold. Canarसी's pretty solid, solid offensive team. LaGuardia also is a team that can give them a run for their money. But I think in the end, and Chelsea also is pretty solid with the pitching staff. But I think overall for the 1A and PSAL, it's going to be Claremont coming out on top with that one. Now we go to the 2A. East Side Community. Saw them play Port Richmond in over the Easter break. And they are a pretty solid club. They can hit, they can pitch, they can field. There's a reason why they are the number 1 seed in the 2A conference playoffs. They're going to face the winner of Gaynor and Grady. And I think Grady pulls out on top against Gaynor. AP Randolph then will play Lafayette. I think Lafayette takes that one. All right, you can never count out the Patriots. All right, solid club there. Bushwick and Lab Museum. That's a 9 versus 24. Jennifer Jones always has her girls up. I think Lab Museum will keep it close. I think Bushwick prevails. Transit Tech, they've had a little bit of an issue this year with their pitching up against lineups that could pretty much hit. And they're going up against a good Hunter squad, 8th in the city in the 2A. I think Hunter prevails on that one. This is one, now I don't want to sound like I'm biased. Okay, so I can already hear Coach Shea going, we don't give us a pity pick. I'm not. But 28 seed Port Richmond over number 5 Brooklyn Prospect. I think Port Richmond prevails. I think they pull it out. I think they pull it out 4-2. Okay? I think it's a 4-2 Raiders win over the Brooklyn Prospect Charter School. 28 takes down the 5. Who are they going to play? Riverdale or New Utrecht? I think New Utrecht takes care of this. Rick DeMarco's club has been pretty solid all year. They finished 11-3 in their division, won their division. Actually, no, I'm sorry, they were second to Brooklyn Prospect. But 11-3, they got the 12 seed. I think the Utes take out Riverdale. Grace Dodge and Edison. I think Edison, the 20, upsets Grace Dodge. American Studies pulls it out over Seward Park. Brandy's, the 3 seed, has a bye. They will face the winner of PE Sutton and Truman. Home game for Truman. I think Truman pulls it out barely. Metropolitan Campus versus Aviation. I think Aviation pulls that one out. Patrides, the 11 seed, over Jamaica. That's a Patrides home game. Give me the Panthers all the way on that one. Wouldn't be surprised if that's a mercy win. East Harlem Pride, not going to be enough for Lehman, the number 6 seed. John Bone, who was pretty solid last year in the 1A, they're the 7 seed against Taft. They expect Bone to take that one. Newcomers over up against Beach Channel. I think Beach Channel pulls that one out. Home game, tough for newcomers on the road. Forest Hills versus ATEC. This is a tough one. This is an 18 and a 15. I think both teams are evenly matched. I'm going to go with ATEC on this one. The 18 over the 15. And then McKees to Allen Tech, who is the 2 seed, who is really good. I mean, really good. Um, they will face the winner of WC Bryant and Stevenson. Both teams kind of squeak their way into the playoffs here. I think the Owls take this one, and then their reward is McKees to Allen Tech. Um, not much going there. Um, I think McKee and ATEC, with McKee winning, that'll be the round two. That'll be the round two matchup. Beach Channel and Bone. I say Beach Channel takes the win. I think the 10 seed advances. Lehman and Petrides, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for Petrides. Panthers are pretty good. But Lehman 6, they're a 6 seed. I think Petrides pulls it out barely. I think they win. I think they win 3-2 over Lehman. I think they advance. Um, Brandy's going to beat Metropolitan Campus in round two. They'll advance. American Studies and Edison. American Studies is going to pull that one out. Utrecht and Port Richmond. Port can hang tough with them. I don't want to do it because I know I'm going to get flack because they're going to say I'm biased. But again, Port Richmond's got a really good team. I know they struggled against some of the upper teams this year, the better teams, but I say Port Richmond moves on to the quarterfinals. I think they beat New Utrecht. I think Hunter's going to take out Bushwick, Lafayette, and Eastside. I really want the Patriots. I really do. I don't know if they can. I think the Eastside's going to be too much for them. That's a tough one to draw. The 16 17 is always a tough one to draw because you know you're gonna get the 1 seed round two. I say Eastside pulls it out, and then quarterfinals, Eastside over Hunter, American Studies over Port Richmond. I think the Cinderella story stops there for the Raiders. Um, I say Brandy's Bone gonna be Taft. McKee, Staten Island. So I think in the 2A, it's gonna be the one versus two. I think it's gonna be the one versus two. I think it's gonna be Eastside Community versus McKee, Staten Island Tech, and I think McKee, Staten Island Tech takes it home. I mean, that team can hit, that team can pitch, and they're not deep at all. They don't have a big roster. You think, oh, they got like 41 people. No, they don't. But coaching staff gets the job done. I'm going to say McKee, Staten Island Tech wins the championship over Eastside Community in the 2A. In the 3A, I don't even know why I'm going to sit here and do any predictions for the 3A. I don't think I think it's pointless to do any predictions for the 3A except one, and that's going to be John Jay just rolling over everybody. I mean, I mean, I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, they've turned into the New York Yankees. I mean, these kids are taking BP at 6:30 in the morning. They got the factories, they got the tape, they got this, they got that. They have all these resources. They have just turned into a juggernaut, an absolute juggernaut. And give credit to the school for backing the coaching staff. They had a vision of what they wanted, and I'm pretty sure it's coming to fruition. And I think it's going to culminate with a championship. Um, there's really no one in their way. You know, in their bracket, like I said, they get to buy obviously their first round. They're the one seed. Graphics and Wagner. I think Wagner's good enough to beat Graphics, and Wagner actually secured a home game, believe it or not, with all the Wagner struggles. But they played better down the stretch, and they get the 32nd seed, not the 33rd seed. So they will host Graphics. I think Wagner will pull it out, but then they're not. They lost. I think it was 13-2 to John Jay. They're not going to really uh, put much up there. I'd love to see the Cinderella story from the Falcons, Staten Island Pride, but I just don't see it happening. And then Brooklyn Tech and South Bronx. None of those teams scare me going up against John Jay. None of them. Zero. Um, and then you have. I mean, I think literally every pitcher on John Jay could be an ace on every single team in the city. They have about six number ones. It's like, and it's amazing to me how it got to this. Like, we for years it was Monroe, it was George Washington, it was this, it was that. John Jay is the baseball school in the city. There is no question about it. It is not even close. It is not even close. And like I said, I think this is we're just doing this. This is window dressing, but I mean it's a formality. They're taking home the gold. They're not losing the game here. Um, Beacon High School Instruction, I think Beacon will take that one. Lincoln, I think will take Walton. I think Lincoln will advance to face John Jay in the quarterfinals. And Lincoln really didn't do that hot against them either this year. I think John Jay will pull that one out. Um, Grand Street, I mean, I think Grand Street, their pitching has struggled this year. They've given up a lot of runs. They do not have the same pitching staff like they used to. They're not the same pitching factory like they used to have. The Wolves are not the same team. And I think five is a little bit too high for them. They'll take care of Manhattan Center. That's not going to be a problem. Um, and then I think they'll face Lupron, who I think will upset Midwood. I'm not high on Midwood at all. I think 12 is pretty high for them. Although they did battle it out with Lincoln towards the end of the year for the division. They started to play a little bit better, but still, I don't trust the Hornets. This is not the 2016 team. Um, I'm gonna say Grant Street over Lupron. I think New Dorp takes out Morris. Again, all the Stallions, the Stallion schools have been, you know, that division was amazing. So they know, even though they didn't have great records, they played in a tight division, which I thought was one of the better divisions in the entire 3A. I think New Dorp takes out Morris. Inwood takes out Bronx Science. I think it ends for New Dorp there. I think Inwood takes out New Dorp. Richmond Hill as the 3 seed, gonna face Van Arsdale. That's not even a question. Um, Stuyvesant over Bayside. Richmond Hill gonna take out Stuyvesant. George Washington gonna take out Clinton. Francis Lewis over Madison. Monroe over John Adams. The Spartans are not what they used to be. My God, they were horrendous this year. Monroe will take that game going away. I think Curtis upsets JFK, 100%. I like Curtis a lot. I like Curtis a lot. West 50th Street campus, who were the 5 seed last year, they're the 15 seed this year. How the mighty have fallen. I think they'll squeak it out against Newton. And then Tottenville over Scholars Academy. Oh my God. Oof. So then Tottenville will advance to the quarters. I tell you right now, I like Curtis. I like Curtis taking out Monroe. I really do. I like Curtis a lot. Like a lot. I think Curtis beats Monroe. They played Tottenville tight the first 2 games of the year also. I think Tottenville will squeak it out against them again, but Curtis is going to give him everything. Curtis is going to give him everything. Um, Francis Lewis, Washington. I think Francis Lewis is going to advance there. I think Francis Lewis takes out Richmond Hill. Tottenville and Richmond Hill. Tottenville and Richmond Hill will probably be the semis. I think Tottenville wins that one. Yeah, there's no one that I see that's going to take out Adams. Um, I don't see it. Not Adams. John Jay. There's nobody. I think even they'll have a couple of mercies in this. Um, it's just the jungle is the jungle, and they're gonna need 5 wins. Round one, round two, quarters. Oh, six. Sweep in the semis, and then 6-0. So your champions will be for the 1A. You're gonna have Claremont winning the gold there. MSIT will bring home the 2A championship, and John Jay will bring home the 3A championship. Um, like I said, I think McKee Staten Island Tech is gonna just run away with it. I think Eastside, they're the number 1 seed, but it could have been either them or McKee as the number 1 seed. I think McKee's the better team. I think MSIT will show that. And then in the 3A, John Jay, it's not even fair. I mean that they could sit there and they can throw one guy an inning in round one, round two, the quarterfinals. They really can sit there and they can do what they want. That's how good they are. Not even close. Back after this.